Assalamu alaikum, my dear listeners. Hope you all are good. Hope everyone is taking care of themselves. As we know, the pandemic is still looming around the world. So today, I've taken it upon myself to look at this video, the meaning of life, a Muslim spoken word that is going to tell us the meaning of life from the Islamic perspective. Now, I'm inspired this morning to try to figure out why we actually exist according to Islam. Why are we in this world according to Islam? Without wasting so much, so let's get into the video. Hope you can learn something from it.
What are we doing here? And where are we gonna go? It's like we just woke up one morning and then it's welcome to the show. Don't ask any questions, just go with the flow. Make as much money as you can and try your best not to get broke. Copy everything you see on the TV, from the hairstyles to the clothes, and don't think too often, just do exactly as you're told. And if you ever get confused, then just turn towards the alcohol. You'll still hear your thoughts, then just turn up the radio as you learn to live a lifestyle of drugs, sex, and rock and roll. But in all honesty, I just need to know, is there more to the cycle than growing and getting old? Living and dying just to leave behind a happy home and a whole lot of property that somebody else is going to own. I just really need.
Before we move forward, I like the way this Sheikh has started this video. Now, and also the flow. The flow is really, really good. I like the flow. And what can we pick up from the first 1 minute? One thing for sure is that he's trying to tell us the current lifestyle, what is currently being promoted as to how we should live our lives. You know, you were just born, everything is embedded on you, you have to go with the flow. I mean, you have to follow whatever is going on, like the trends. Whatever they tell you to do is what you have to go with. Everything is embedded on you. When you get confused, they say you should turn into alcohol. You know, I like how he also rhymes it so nicely. But the basic point here is most people get confused and they turn into alcohol. In order to what? To take their mind off the confusion, which I think he's trying to portray in this first minute. So let's go with it and see how much you can
Need to know before the casket's closed, cause I'm not willing to gamble with my soul, nor am I ready to take any chances. These are just simple life questions and I'm just searching for some answers. Like, what are we doing here? And what is our purpose? How did we get here, and who made us so perfect? And what happens once we go, or is this world all really worth it?
A couple of questions he's asking, which are actually thought questions, where you have to think about what he's asking and try to figure out the answers. Like, how are we so perfect as human beings? Like, who created us so perfect like this? You know, the human structure. Why are we so perfect that everything matches well? You know, your teeth lined up, your hair looking nice, your eyes are in the right position, your nose, and everything, like your stature, like the way you stand straight. You know, a human being stands straight with all the beautiful figures that is on us, like how we are shaped. Now, if you ask yourself that question, why is it so perfect? Like, why are we even here? Why are we on earth? Why are we created like this, so perfect? If you ask such questions in your mind, I think it can also take you into some imaginary kind of thoughts where you have to figure out things. Like, so if you're curious, a curious human, you're supposed to ask such questions in order to kind of put your mind into that imaginary and critical thinking.
Questions we don't answer because apparently we don't really have to. There's no purpose to this life and our existence is merely natural. Then in that case, please let me ask you, did you create yourself or was it somebody else who had fashioned you? Cause you're a being that's impeccable, faultless and unparalleled. You're a product of supreme intelligence and I'm merely being rational. For the
That is true. You know, like, okay, according to what we are told, like what science tells us is everything is natural. We all come from this natural evolution and all that. But still, it begs the question, like, and then if we are all so natural, why are we so perfect? Like everything is positioned the right way. There's proportionality. There's proportionality the way human is created. That means everything fits perfectly. Now, don't you think there has to be somebody who actually did the creation, like somebody who designed you, like who is the designer? That's the question one should be asking.
Isn't a camera on this earth that can come close to the human eye, nor a computer that can compete alongside the human mind. And if the whole world was to come together, we wouldn't be able to create a single fly. So many signs, yet we...
True. If the whole world is supposed to like gather and put their minds together, like all of us humans, the way we think things are supposed to be, like if we're all supposed to put our mind together, we can't even create an ant or a fly. That just shows you how much our brain is limited. But then, still, however much he's still trying to portray, however much a computer or however much you build a computer, it's still not going to compare to the human brain the way it's created. And whatever camera we're going to make is still not going to compare to the human eye the way it's created, the way we see things so perfectly. So that's also another area where we have to think about.
We still deny. Science tries to justify that all this could come from none, when it's a simple sum. 0 plus 0 plus 0 cannot possibly ever give you 1. So from where did all this order come? For every...
I have to tell you, numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. If he's telling us that 0 plus 0 plus 0 can never be equal to 1, numbers don't lie. So you cannot tell me it is impossible to have that hypothesis that we came from nothing, like everything was just natural, like we just came from nothing. There was nothing before, then just something appeared just like that. Doesn't make sense to me.
Everything has its origins, a maker, a creator of its own. I mean, the only reason you're watching this video is because somebody had to press upload so we can believe in the Big Bang, but I'd rather believe in He who caused it to explode. Allah, the creator.
Yeah, the Big Bang. That's what we say is the origin of life and everything in the universe. But have you ever imagined who caused the Big Bang?
Creator of everything along with every single soul, the ever-living, the master, the only one who is in control. Unlike his creation, beyond our imagination, and no, he's not a man, nor does he have any partners in association. He's on his own, and no, he did not ever leave us alone. Just like every manufacturer, he left us with an instruction manual, the Quran and Islam, and I'm sorry to jump to conclusions, but it's the only one possible.
Now, according to Islam, Allah is the creator. He created everything. That's what we believe in. So that's the basic of Islamic belief. And he's saying it's Allah who caused the Big Bang. That means He created everything from zero to what we have now. Everything so perfectly that He has even created something so small that the eyes may not see, but He is the master of creators. And with all His creation and the creation of human beings, He has given us a manual. According to Islam, He has given us the manual, which is Quran, and the way the teachings of the Prophet, the Sunnah. That's our manual as a human being, like how we should live our life. That's how we should, what we should follow actually in our daily lives.
The only definition of God is the one and only supreme being. It's logical, a book with zero contradictions, with miracles that are both scientific and historical, all revealed over 1400 years ago. Like
now, the Quran has so many miracles. You remember the Quran was revealed 1400 years ago to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And yet he has stated so many miracles, like both scientific and also mentally scientific miracles. There's a lot of wisdom in the Quran that scientists have found out to be true lately. And imagine the Quran was revealed 1400 years ago. So that's the miracle of the Quran. And then another miracle of the Quran is that they don't contradict in part. Like there is so many verses which are in the Quran and they all fit perfectly, and it doesn't contradict one. One verse doesn't contradict the other.
the detailed description of the human embryo.
The descriptions of the human embryo in the Quran cannot be based on scientific knowledge in the 7th century.
To the mountains as pegs holding firm the earth below, and the two seas that don't mix in a complete separate flow. To the planets in orbit, alternating night and day as they stay in flow. The expansion of the universe and the creation of everything from H2O. To the stories of the past and the preservation of Pharaoh. To identifying the lowest point in the land where Persia defeated Rome. The gushing fluid that created man in the glands between the ribs and the backbone. And not a word has changed, it's still the same. So please explain how all this was known over 1400 years ago.
Facts. Facts only. You know, the Quran has revealed a lot of scientific facts that, 1400 years ago, so many scientific facts like how the embryo, the creation of the human from the fluid, where it all takes place, the separation of two seas, like they don't mix together. That's in a place in South Africa, which was also discovered, and then so many others like the Pharaoh. The lost cities, you know, and so many other things in the Quran that actually science has proven to be actually right, and also like the universe, like moving in spheres and moving orbiting their circles. It was revealed 1400 years ago, before even space science was started, and all these were actually proven to be true. And yet Quran was revealed 1400 years ago. So this actually makes a lot of sense to me.
To a man who couldn't read or write as he would recite whatever the angels spoke. And if you still don't believe, please try to come up with something that's even close. But you can't, so we took God as a mockery and his messengers as a joke.
Muhammad could not read or write. How somebody who can't read or write gonna start a religion?
Dismissed his scriptures as legends and tales of the ancient folk as we live life according to our whims, desires, and hopes. Saying,
now that's another miracle of the Quran. One thing is, we know the Quran was revealed to Prophet Muhammad, and yet a whole book being recited by somebody who did not go to school, did not know how to read and write. So that's why actually another miracle of the Quran, that it doesn't make sense that somebody who is not educated and doesn't read and write is able to deliver a whole book, a package, a perfect package of the Quran. That's another miracle. That's another thing to believe in.
this life is the only home we will ever know. We will live then die, then simply turn to bones. YOLO! Correction, after the grass dies, the rain arrives and it regrows, and Allah promises to do the same thing to your very soul and bring you back from your very fingertips to your toes, as the all-seeing supreme being watches us so close and we are surely being tested. In our wealth, our health, and our self, and everything that we've been blessed with. So believe, for we will surely be resurrected and be brought back to our Lord and account for every single deed as He hands us our books and orders us to read.
That's also important to know as a Muslim. One thing for sure is that we have to believe in the day of resurrection, the day of judgment. You know, Allah has told us in the Quran that every single life shall die and we shall be what? Shall be alive again. That means shall be resurrected. I mean, if you don't believe in resurrection, Allah has given us an example of the earth where it dies, like during the dry season, every tree dies, the leaves dry and everything. But then He brings rain afterwards, and everything comes back to life. So from that example, Allah has told us that it is actually so easy for humans to be resurrected after dying even hundreds, thousands of years, being buried on the ground. It is still so easy for Allah to resurrect every human soul.
From the bad to the good and everything in between. You yourself are sufficient for your own accountability, so don't be mad at me. You are the one who thought He wouldn't come back to me. I gave you a whole life long to search after me, but you were busy in all that which was temporary. So read, and glad tidings to all those who believed. And if you disbelieve, read. And don't let that day be the first day you find out what your life really means. Read.
That's the end of the video. Very interesting video. I've actually learned a lot. Now, to summarize this whole video, I would like to encourage us to read the Quran. According to this video, the Quran is the manual of life. Allah has told us has given us the Quran as our manual or guidance for humankind, every humankind. So I think it is so important for everyone to read the Quran. Try to understand the purpose of life, and let it not be that on the day of resurrection is the first time you read about your life, like how you're supposed to have lived your life, where your book will be given to you and tell you this is how you lived your life. Let it not be the first time you read a book from the Almighty. Read everything from the Almighty. Read the Quran and understand it, and make sure you follow the teachings of the Quran. If you like this video, like it, share it with a friend, and I'll be dropping more reactions on my channel, so I encourage you to subscribe and click on that bell button so that every time I drop a new video, you're able to see it immediately. Thank you for listening. I'm out. Thank you.